fabulous speech. I just want to give a big hand to all the people who have just come forward, and it's fantastic to know about what you are doing in your perspective. And I just want to ask the first question. Maybe just share your own personal opinion. Why have you started the business? Like, not really following what the mainstream doing job in big companies or anything?
Do you want to say anyone knows?
Yeah, just some sharing.
Why did I start a business? I think it goes back to, for me, it was always not wanting to work for a boss. That's one thing. Wanting to create value for the world. I can get excited about a lot of different things, but I particularly don't like waste, and I particularly find technology and process exciting. So that's probably why PassKit was started. Plus, I'd already invested in assets that allowed me to bring those assets together to create something of value on a problem that wasn't being solved. So that's probably why I started PassKit itself. Why did I pursue entrepreneurship versus going down the standard, more sort of corporate route? I think I always didn't do what my mum told me to do. So it was more wanting to create something bigger and trying and working with other people.
Instead of working continuously.
Yeah, I mean, working in corporates was a lot of fun. I met a lot of great people, and it gives you really, really great opportunities. And I think that world is changing. I suppose spending a decade in banking, I saw the banking industry change. When I joined banking, it was very exciting. There's lots of value being created. There was obviously, maybe not the same rules around regulation. Technology was coming about, but it just felt a little bit constraining around. So you spend more time on politics than on creating value. Now, as the company gets bigger, obviously, as you talk, when there's more than 3 people, there's politics. But I guess I've always had a thought on how can you change something, how can you make something different. So, yeah, I guess, as I said, when I was in corporate, I was a frustrated entrepreneur. And then, rather than just tell people, one day I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I thought, I've got to take action, because otherwise I'm just hot air. And everyone can say, I'm going to do it. But you just got to jump. It's the same as if you're doing a parachute jump. You can say, I'm going to do the parachute jump, but until you jump out of the plane, you're not doing a parachute jump. It may sound a bit twee as an answer, but I think if I look back, why did I do it? It's because I told myself I wanted to do it, and I think it would be fun. And the worst situation was, it didn't work, and I'd go back to doing something different.
So you're pursuing your dream.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So, how do you, why do you choose to participate in this business? I mean, I think a lot of people are thinking, oh, I participating in corporations is much safer in Hong Kong or in the world of Asia. But it's not really the kind of creative atmosphere as appeared in America or other places. Yeah. How do you think about this? Maybe you can just talk in Cantonese, I can just translate.
If you talk about my job or the product, actually in the last 20 years, I bring in a lot of funny or latest technology peripherals to Hong Kong. For example, Distributor. Our company introduced a lot of this type of technology gadgets to Hong Kong. For example, in 1996, I also we are the first company to introduce the flash memory card.
Oh.
At that moment, everybody is using the fake camera, and the flash memory card at that time is only 2 megabyte, 4 megabyte. Right now is 120 gigabyte memory. Maybe I enjoy everybody asking me, CY, what's new product you can show me, and I keep carrying interesting products to Hong Kong to share with my friends, with people. That's why
What kind of flash card you are bringing in
today.
in 1996?
Oh, at that moment is Compact Flash and Smart Media Card.
Oh, so you are the first company to bring in compact disc.
Compact Flash card.
Compact flash card.
Yeah, Compact Flash card.
Oh.
And actually, last year we also bring in another latest flash memory storage to Hong Kong. This is
Oh, you have it here?
the latest. Last year, the first memory stick for iPhone, iPad, called iStick. Actually, this is the first memory stick officially approved by Apple, by MFI, to use it at iPod, iPad.
So what does it convert in?
You can convert it to the normal computer USB.
Oh, so it has 2 ports in the device.
Not
One
only.
is the
Even you can micro USB for Android.
I see. So for those guys sitting at the back, it is 2 side ports. One port is connecting to the iPhone 6 Plus, and another port is connecting to USB or even the micro USB
For Android phone.
or for Android
So it
phone.
covers all platforms, iOS, PC, Mac, and
So this is actually a USB device.
yeah. The right now the capacity up to 128 megabyte.
Oh, 128 megabyte, but I'm sure it will.
Yeah,
go on.
gigabyte.
Oh,
Gigabyte.
gigabyte.
Yeah, gigabyte.
So 128 gigabytes. Wow, it's large.
Yeah,
It's
very
huge,
large.
actually. Okay, interesting. So,
So maybe that's my hobby, and I like to share those products to my.
okay. So, do you have any other thing you want to share about your own yourself?
Share about. Actually, I like to share this my experience in all these products. Why I can carry those products is, for example, the manufacturer and also the engineer like to share the experience and the
So you enjoy working with them?
yeah.
Okay, I see. So, how about inside robotics?
Inside Robotics is a different companies. We are not making consumer products. I think the inspiration behind this company is to have a positive social impact, and we want to solve some global issues. So that's the reason why we have developed the Wi-Fi early stage detection system. So in order to save human life, natural resources, and as well, of course, animals and climate change in our view. So Robotics is a company that wants to save the world grid by grid.
So you
As a slogan
you also
said.
want to save the planet as yourself?
Yeah, this company is different from most of the corporates. Big company only want to make great money or make the client happy. But Robotics difference that we want to really help the world to save life, save the human property. Yeah, so this make it very meaningful to work here.
Can I just take on one quick thing you said there? Because I think having that alignment to something that you feel personal is really important. The other thing you said is, why choose startups versus a corporate that is safe? Ask yourself what safety is. That's the main thing you need to come away with. Because it ain't just money. Right? So you really need to question, what is safety for you? It's when you go to bed at night, you feel safe. Whether that's alignment to a global environmental issue, whether it's a reduction of waste, whether it's a leverage of technology, whether it's inspiring people to use new, cool stuff. What is safety? Because, yes, of course, money is very important and will provide an element of safety, but that isn't all about safety. So you ask a lot about corporate providing safety, and maybe this should go off record, because I used to work in corporates. We use that line to manipulate people. Right? It's a psychology. There is no such thing as safety other than yourself taking control of what you do. Corporates don't owe you any safety. Startups don't own you any safety. You own your safety. So that's probably where I would just try to look at it from a slightly different angle, based on a history that actually is based on Machiavellian manipulation of what a corporate provides you versus where safety really comes from.
I see.
If that helps.
Yeah.
I didn't do a psychology or
can lay off people,
philosophy
can
course
go
or
bankrupt.
anything. I'm getting quite philosophical, but it is an important thing to consider when you approach your next career step.
So maybe any questions from the floor? We're now open.
I'm actually more interested in discussing about the Hong Kong startup scene. So maybe this question is more directed to Paul. And
Yep.
since most of your clients are from the US, why have you chosen to base your company in Hong Kong?
Yeah, it's probably the most frequent question I used to get asked. I guess it's three key reasons. The first reason was I was living here. Yeah, it was simple. It was a personal decision. My children were going to school here. To uproot those children, to ask for significant change from my wife, to take my friends away, was an investment which I would be prepared to make because I'm committed to the vision, but I thought, well, I can still make it work here, so it kind of comes back to my stubbornness. Second thing is, access to capital in Hong Kong is quite good. Now, I would say that the startup environment and the incubation environment in Hong Kong has improved dramatically. It is definitely not Silicon Valley. It is definitely not London Silicon Roundabout. It's definitely not New York. Singapore is doing a very good job of stepping it up. So Hong Kong got a long way to go before it starts to compete. But you're starting to see stuff being put into the press a lot more around the opportunity to create value for Hong Kong and the world from the assets that Hong Kong's based. There's got a lot of previous history of Hong Kong's been about trade because of the border of China. I think they're starting to realise that has a certain lifetime, and obviously there's a lot of property tycoons that are based out of Hong Kong and trade property. But now technology starts to be seen as good, and there's a bit more money going into it. My particular capital, there is quite a lot of high net worth individuals. You've got family tycoons. Previously, they'd be typically investing in property or associated trade finance. Now they're kids. So if you've got the tycoons, their kids are now looking at technology. They've still got a lot of money and they want to create value. So there starts to be a bit of money. Lastly, for PassKit particularly, is access to brands and companies. And this is probably where Hong Kong is completely unique, that I can walk down Queen's Road Central and bump into every single brand. Now, their global headquarters may not be here, but I can get in front of the CMO for Asia Pacific. I can get in front of the head of brand agency for Asia Pacific out of Hong Kong, which then I can have that viral effect on the global side of things. I've definitely debated whether I should go to New York or London, which is quite a marketing sort of capital of the world. But actually, being able to walk street to street to street, and the ease of networking in Hong Kong, if you like networking, is a great place. It's really good. Doesn't come without challenges, guarantee it. And valuing businesses that are Hong Kong based versus someone that values their business in Silicon Valley in a coffee shop for 200 billion based off the fact that you've drawn something on a piece of paper. It's much harder here in Hong Kong. But I think those are the three principles that we've stuck by it. The biggest challenge, that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm really trying to evangelize about this, is finding great talent here in Hong Kong. We do not have a great incubating system like you do out of Boston, like you do out of Silicon Valley, where graduates come out of technology, out of computer science, out of development schools, out of engineering, out of hardcore data mining and marketing, and then start a startup. And the last challenge I faced is parents. It's real, I'm not joking. I've tried to hire amazing people before, only for their mum or dad to say, I didn't pay for you to go to college for you not to work at a high quality bank. And how old is this company? And why I want you to be in a top 4 consulting firm. So culture does have some impact. We're starting to see that. I'm trying to work with the government more to highlight the opportunity for passionate, talented individuals and the value you can create without having to work for a big company. Again, not just on the record, because just in case this goes boring, there is a lot of value working in a corporate. You can get a lot out of a corporate and you can add a lot to a corporate. I did it and it's still really enjoyable, and startups are not for everyone. But I want startups to be appreciated the same way as having a law degree and going into a big legal firm, or having done economics and becoming an investment banker. I want entrepreneurship, or being part of an entrepreneurial pursuit, to be as held in high regard. Now that's changed over 10 years significantly. Hopefully does that help?
Yeah.
I've heard that in Hong Kong it's harder to find investment. Unlike in the Silicon Valley, you got Y Combinator, Andreessen and Horowitz. What they do is just to fund company. And then where do you find your investment here?
Network. So you need to be very well networked. You do need to be fairly social. I've been fortunate. I guess I've worked in investment banking, so I've built an appreciation of how finance happens, and I've helped other businesses finance themselves, so I understand financing. So network's important. And then it's surprising how quick network can actually tap to, they say you're 6 degrees of freedom away from everyone. It is quite amazing, and if you don't mind leveraging that, it's okay. Now, capital in Hong Kong is there. There is capital. There's people that want to invest. Maybe generally Hong Kong are not as good at getting in front of those people. And equally, Hong Kong investors, or particularly China investors, are then saying, well, let's look at US. So they've got a diversification of where their capital goes. But it's not impossible. If you've got a good product, you're solving the right problem, then they will, at first they don't beg you, but now I'm getting investors begging to be part of PassKit because it's based on high quality product, great market potential, integrity in business, and creating value. And it doesn't matter that we're based in Hong Kong. They will find you. You've got Angel.co as a platform, you've got Crunchbase as a platform. So there's lots of great platforms. Obviously Kickstarter's a wonderful platform to be used. All of those things make. There's loads of things out there. It's just about going out and finding it. Downplaying the location for capital.
Well, can you just share a lot more about how you find your funding, how you can sustainably find your financing to develop your product?
I think network is the truth.
Sure.
We also have a good network of investors, and if we do our product good and we have a good integrity in our product, then the investors will introduce more investors to you, to us.
Yeah.
So more people will come to us and look at our product and look at your company, and if they feel confidence and they know what you are doing, and of course we have to know what we are doing, then they will invest. So funding is not really a problem in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does the inside robot deal with terrain? Suppose it's like a slanting slope, like it's a mountain, and the inside robot is somewhere in the middle. So how will it look up and down?
We have a Pentium head. We have a Pentium.
Okay.
So it has two axes. One is the horizontal one. You can do the pan action and the tilt action. Yeah.
You've got the engineers on this side of the table. This side, you've got this side. Brilliant. I love that.
Yeah. The camera is sit on a Pentium.
No, I think he meant, what he meant was if the camera is like this and the slope is like that, so how would it be able to see the fire against that?
You can tilt.
No, I mean, what if it's covered by a slope? What if the fire is covered by a slope?
We have to have the fire in line of sight. It cannot be covered by some obstacle. It has to be in line of sight.
Maybe there is one question I want to ask. I think I'm asking about for inside robotics at Distributor. Where are your products selling to?
Our products mainly in China. So it's now it's China. We sell over 60 products in over 10 provinces in China, and we are going to have North America market, Australia, and Southeast Asia.
Ooh, it's a lot.
Yeah. I just went to Mexico, and you see one of the slides. The fire actually is happening in Mexico. I just did the product proof of concept in Mexico, Guadalajara, last month. So yeah, super.
Actually, Distributor is from startup, Kickstarter. So actually, Kickstarter make a very good marketing media. So everybody when you look at Kickstarter, and then they do distributorship over the world in Europe, North America, Asia, Japan, Taiwan, China. So Middle East, all over the world. And they got a very good selling for the version 1, more than 135,000 pieces. So the second version 2 just came out, and actually all the distributors want to be the first selling in Japan. And first normal distribution for retail is from the start of Hong Kong next week.
Next week. So we are going to buy it just downstairs or I don't know where.
Right now, no, not yet.
Oh, I see. And
But from Kickstarter, from .com, they already shipping the product out. But you need to first from the Kickstarter.
why have you thought of putting up on Kickstarter?
Actually, right now Kickstarter became a very good PE sale platform.
Yes.
And if you create a product or you create something you want to sell, traditionally is you make a product, make the sample, ask your wholesaler or distributor to do marketing and sell it level to level. But right now the fundraising platform like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, you can pre-sell or you can fundraise your startup fund or fee to make because this already guaranteed. Like Distributor, the first pen they guarantee got more than 26,000 pieces.
Yeah.
And the second one is already more than 10,000 pieces. So you have the money and also the sale to prepare everything. And already make a lot of profit before you start.
I see. So are there any other questions people want to ask? Yes.
I still got a question for Paul. I remember that your undergraduate degree is mechanical engineering, right? So that's very interesting. Like, I'm very interested in your career path. Like, you don't have any academic background in the business, nor in the computer science. But later on, you lead a team working in the financial sector and also working in the technology innovation field. So without the academic background, how do you manage your team?
I'm sure the university won't like my answer. Whatever you study, it doesn't matter. You've got to solve problems. And so as a science, if you follow a scientific approach to problem solving, then you apply that to, in the days when I was studying mechanical engineering, it would be designing a compressor, for example, or designing and optimizing an engine. But the process by which you follow, and this is where Lean Six Sigma is a very deployable process, is exactly the same for every problem. So if your mindset is around as long as you have vision of what is the outcome, then the problem-solving process you use is pretty similar. Now, to learn code versus learning Bernoulli's equation, if there's any mechanical or thermodynamic guys, all right? Remember Bernoulli's equation? I'll test you later. If you remember Bernoulli's, then you're doing good. But you're using equation, you're using a tool to solve a problem in a scientific method, right? So there's a hypothesis that if I do X, Y, Z, I will get A. A is your outcome, then I'm testing those things. The same happens with code. And again, most people will be offended by this. Coding is easy. It's easy. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
It is easy. So is writing an essay. So is answering math problems, if you view it that way. Because the ease is to solve a bigger problem, right? So it's actually, probably on reflection, I should have done some course that just meant I could go into class 2 hours a week. But I did engineering, and what it did for me is it gave me a process by which I can confidently solve problems. And then you surround yourself with people that can help with expertise on different parts of problems. So I didn't study electrical engineering, so when we built our beacons, like, okay, well, I can study how to wire this Bluetooth energy, the Bluetooth low energy chip. But is that the most efficient use, again, go back to lean, of my time versus going and raising capital, which is another process? No, I'll go and find an expert who is really competent at wire, or actually the actual firmware, building firmware for Bluetooth low energy technology. Yeah, so I really did enjoy engineering as a degree, and at the time I was passionate about products, and I focused on human factors and the psychology associated with engineering and all those sorts of things. So that was a particular fashion. But what I got from it was a method that allows you to solve problems. So I transitioned from automotive to banking. The reason I did that is actually the problems are the same. They're exactly the same. Better quality, lower cost, faster speed. It's the same thing. So it was just using a method. So I think the sciences are good for that. Equally, arts teach a great process by which to look at the world and approach solving creation. And if you bring that process together, then that's the key thing. Key thing is to have a mindset, a vision, and then confidence that you have some process, or you can learn some process to get you to that outcome. Does that help?
Yeah. And so, do you treat yourself as a technology innovator, or you treat yourself as a businessman after 20 years of?
Treat yourself as a rock star. Yeah, no. Well, if you're, I guess it depends who I'm talking to. So if I'm in a room of technologists, I'd say I'm a technologist because I can articulate technology. If I'm in the room of business, then I'll probably talk business. Am I the best coder in the world? Absolutely not. Am I coding anymore? Only a little bit. Is my current focus better spent on profile and marketing and evangelizing and meeting top talent and inspiring people to come to the company, that will be a better use of my time to achieve our vision. And there are some really cool people who are far more skilled. So, for example, we're moving from PHP to Golang. If anyone's looking at Golang, come and talk to me because we need Golang developers. You know, that's something I could learn Golang, but it's going to take me a long time, and someone has already got that. And then, so we're still using different people to develop. So, would I class myself as a technologist? Probably not. Do I class myself more as an entrepreneur? Probably is more the sentence I use now.
What about a rock star?
A rock star? Yeah, that's just a wannabe thing.
How is your beacon different from the iBeacon?
So iBeacon is just a specification, as is old beacon. So the beacon is a Bluetooth low energy chip that then broadcasts an iBeacon, what's called a UUID, a universal identification. So iBeacon technology is a specification produced by Apple. Old beacon is actually produced by Android. The beacon is just a Bluetooth low energy emitter that then produces a ID. So it's just basically like imagine a lighthouse, just sending out an ID in accordance with Apple spec and in accordance with Android spec. Yep.
So that had no way to convey some specific information apart from just telling I'm here.
Ours do, because we have some proprietary technology about how we communicate and daisy chain to other Bluetooth. And again, it's just about problem solving. So it's like, well, if it's only doing this, how are we going to tell another beacon that we want to do something different? Okay, well then let's communicate, but that's over a different channel. So if you're into sort of electrical engineering or sort of firmware development, is anyone code C? Yeah, then C is what we need for that stuff. Yeah. So if you like coding in C, that's a good place to start.
Just curious, how many places in Hong Kong currently are using the iBeacon? And will Bluetooth have to be turned on the phones all the time?
Yeah. How many places are using beacons in Hong Kong? Yep. Why? Hong Kong's very slow. Yeah. Does Bluetooth need to be turned on? Absolutely. To receive a Wi-Fi connection, do you need to turn your Wi-Fi signal on?
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but I was thinking maybe something like NFC could be used.
NFC is near field communication.
Yeah,
Yep. So to walk into a shopping mall,
that's
then you'd have to still bump it. So imagine you've got GPS, Wi-Fi, beacon, NFC. And as I went down there, that's the level of distance that you can really sort of articulate, and equally the precision with which you can achieve location services.
So maybe we can accept 2 more questions.
I'm interested in knowing what the process is like for Inside Robotics to test your products. Like, I've seen from your videos that it seems like a big process involving firefighters and the real fire, right? So, yeah. Can you describe or explain
That's a great
what's the process?
The whole, you mean in real
Yeah, how
case
you
scenario?
test it in, yeah.
How we test it?
He goes in, sets fire.
As I said, I just went to Mexico to do the proof of concept. So what we do, we need to have different parties to help us to finish it. We need to have an SI, the system integrator, to help us to install the robots in a correct location. Then I will do the calibration and the software installation. Software already made it in Hong Kong, okay? Yeah, I'm not going to code it in the same, of course. Another one, we need to have firefighter. They will set on fire and they will also push it off in case of emergency. So with these 3 parties, then we can have the test. So the firefighters will choose one of the location. They won't help us. Then they will just set up within our specs, like within the 5 kilometers range. So they will set up somewhere in the forest. And then our robots will scan continuously to look for the fires. And once it's scanned and detected, we will report it to our software, the inside globe, the user interface, and telling them where exactly the fire is. And they will match, see if the location from the GPS location of the fire, is it corresponding to the location we indicated in our user interface. If it's correct, the test is successful. If it's wrong, or we didn't detect it, then we fail. Yeah.
It's really cool. I want to put you in touch with my brother who's in New Zealand. you want to go to New Zealand?
We actually have a distributor.
Right.
We just have an exhibition in New Zealand last year. Yeah. Together with Australia, because I think these two markets are
Australia.
very
Yeah.
close. So they have an exhibition, New Zealand and Australia exhibition in Australia.
Okay. Well, that's superb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is for 3Doodler. So actually, I told my friend about you guys, and he was like, "Oh, okay, that's very cute. A lot of people are very interested in your Kickstarter." But he was wondering where exactly is your value proposition? It's the cool. It's a cool hit thing right now, but you might think, okay, for the people who are serious with 3D printing, they'll go out and buy a 3D printer, or they go to the make spaces. Because for this one, for each product you create, you have to painstakingly draw one, and you can't do it a second time. So he was wondering about the value proposition of this in the long future, in the long trend.
Good question. Actually, you see, in Time Magazine, they always said, this is the best innovation. I always answer this question like Chinese people say "You need to practice. You need practice. This is the first pen and then the second pen. Maybe later on, the 3D pen don't look like 3D. But right now, you can write in 3D. You can write everything. You can write your own bottle, your own watch. I can create different glass string in different color every day. So it's this is only a first type of 3D pen. Maybe later on we got 10, hundreds of different type of 3D pens. But need practice.
Right.
Take your time.
Right. Yeah.
So we go to sleep.
Right. Okay. So just very brief. One last question. Just one word. Like if you need to use one word to describe for technological innovation and breakthrough as what our theme today is, how do you describe these kind of attitude people should have in order to make some breakthroughs or innovations? Just one word.
Goodness. Never been asked that before. That's a good question.
For fun.
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 Fun. Enjoy it.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, passion, I guess it would relate.
Yes. No passion. You give up.
You don't like it?
Yeah, I think that's coming across. Like, if you don't like it, don't
So
do it.
we
There's
need
not
to have
so much
passion
stuff
to
to
make
do.
breakthrough. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. So
Thank you.
Please give a big hand to our company today.
I hope that you're inspired by our wonderful guest speakers and you'll continue to support the activities organized by TecHKU. And the interview articles will, with these companies might also be posted after the leader panels. So thank you. So maybe if you guys are interested, you can, I think 3Doodler can let you guys try.
Yeah, if you guys have more questions, you are very welcome to ask.
If organizers take